Hello students, welcome to the first class of our Master of Law course, and our first subject is, which is common for all the groups, which is known as Law and Social Transformation in India. Let us start now. Now there is a question: is law really an instrument of social change? What is the meaning of law? Law is nothing but the set of instructions that tell us how to behave in the society. Now, can a law play an instrumental role to bring out change in the society? Now, let us see this statement and try to analyze it with the help of following information. Now, as far as introduction is concerned, change is the law of nature. What is today shall be different from what it would be tomorrow. The social structure is subject to incessant change. Social change means modification in the way the people work. The change is existing pattern of the social life is known as social change. So what do we mean by social change? It means the change in existing pattern of social life. It also means a change in social structure. Let's go ahead. Definitions of social change. There are so many definitions of social change. There are so many authors who have attempted to define social change, but we are not going to take all of them. I will be reading out some of them. Let us start with the Ginsberg. He says that social change is change in social structure. Example, the size of the society, the composition or balance or its part of the type of its organization. Jones says social change devotes variation in or modification of any aspect of social process, social pattern, social interaction, or social organization. Let us take one Indian author who says social change may be defined as a fashion of or mode, either modifying or replacing the old in the life of people or in the operation of society. Davis says social change is meant only such alterations as occur in social organization, that is structure and functions of the society. So we have enough of the definitions. You can very well read the remaining definitions on your own. Let's go ahead. Then the question is, what is social structure? Before we study what do we mean by the process called as social role of law in changing the society, that is law and social transformation. But before that, we must know what do we mean by social structure. So social structure, which can be understood as nature, social behavior, social relations, social organizations, community of people. Let us come to the nature of social change. Social change is a universal phenomenon. Social change occurs in all societies. There is no society which is completely static against any change. Population changes, technology changes, it expands, material equipment changes, ideologies and values take on new components, institutional structure and functions undergo reshaping, new courses get introduced in a particular institutions, new building comes up of a particular organization. So many changes take place. The speed and extent of change may differ from society to society. Some change rapidly, others change very slowly. Let us come to the next topic. Social change is community change. Social change means community change. Only the change can be called social change whose influence can be felt in a community form. Social change is social and not individual. Speed of social change is not uniform. While social change occurs in all society, its speed is not uniform in every society. Even in modern societies, there seems to be little or no change at all in many areas. Social change in urban areas is faster than the rural areas. Nature and speed of social change is affected by and related to time factor. In modern times, the speed of social change is faster than that was before 1947. Therefore, the speed of social change differs from age to age. Before 1947, there was less industrialization in India. After 1947, India has become more industrialized. Therefore, the speed of social change after 1947 is faster than before 1947. Social change occurs as an essential law. Change is the law of the nature. Social change is natural. Therefore, the truth is that we are anxiously waiting for the change. According to Green, the enthusiastic response of change has become almost a way of life. Definite prediction of social change is not possible. It is difficult to make any prediction about the exact form of social change. There is no inherent law of social change according to which it would assume definite forms. Social change shows chain reaction sequence. A society's pattern of living is a dynamic system of interrelated parts. Therefore, change in one of these parts usually reacts on others and those on additional ones until they bring a change in the whole mode of life of people. Let us take an example. Industrialism has destroyed the domestic system of production. The destruction of domestic system of production brought women from home to the factories and offices. The employment of women meant their independence from the bondage of men. Social change results from the interaction of a number of factors. Generally, it is thought that a particular factor like change in technology, economic development, or climatic conditions causes social change. Social changes are chiefly those of modern modification or of replacement. Social changes may be broadly categorized as modification or replacement. It may be modification of physical goods or social relationship. For example, the form of our breakfast food has changed. Though we eat the same basic materials and we ate earlier, wheat, eggs, corn, but their form has changed. Ready-to-eat cornflakes, breads, omelets are substituted for the form in which these same material were consumed in yesteryears. Let us come to the law and society in India. Law is a norm of conduct for citizens. Social rules distinguish human societies from animal groups. Control of human behavior is done with the help of law. Even a basic activity like eating is indirectly affected by law. Now we have a law which undertakes or takes care of safety standards. So that is used for the basic activity, that is eating, proper food, with proper quality. Law governs almost every activity which happens in the society. Law is applicable to an unborn person and even a person who is dead. Many jurists have tried to define law, for example, Austin, Hart, etc. Then what is the role of law in the society? It helps sustain the equity on the three branches of the government. It keeps the society running. For example, a law setting up a compulsory education system, a law designed to prohibit polygamy. These laws make the society run in a smooth manner. Law plays an agent of modernization and social change. Abolition of untouchability, child marriage, sati, dowry, etc. are illustrations of social change through law. Law is an instrument of social change. Law is the reflection of the will and wish of the society. Law is responsible for the social transformation. When law changes the society, it is the sign of beginning of the development of the society. When society changes law, it is the sign of maturity of the society. For example, the matter of Nirbhaya, where the commonest of the common man was talking on how the law must be, what must be the punishment, etc. This compelled the government to amend the law. Even a single person can initiate change in society through law. For example, Rajaram Mohan Roy to Mahatma Phule, Mahatma Basveshwar, and Mahatma Gandhi up to Anna Hazare. Therefore, demand in the society compels the government to either reform, make new, or delete the existing useless laws. Unfortunately, we are facing another issue here as far as society is concerned. Some farmers are not happy with the, the laws which are passed by the Parliament of India. So they are protesting. For example, and we will take another example, when Mahatma Phule's wife Savitribai Phule actually started teaching in a school aimed only for girls, gradually became the source of law, where the girls could actually study and develop. Society reluctantly adopted this fact and started to send girls to school. The binding force of law. Law is binding because most people in society consider it to be. Even when laws are against accepted morality, they are often obeyed. For example, the extermination of more than 6 million Jews in Nazi Germany was carried out by thousands of people in the name of obedience to the law. Law is the product of traditions and culture. Some believe that in olden days, men lived in a perfect state of happiness. Indian people admire Satyug, but society deteriorated in Kali Yuga. That is, it is at present full of sorts of deceit, conceit, cheating and fraud. Let us come to the criticism and evaluation of law in the light of colonization. Colonization is the period where British colonized Indian areas or colonies. They converted Indian kingdoms into colonies and they started ruling. Now let us see what kind of criticism and evaluation of this in those situations. Social change can be brought by preaching of religions, launching social reform movements, like one done by Rajaram Mohan Roy, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, Justice Ranade, Shahu Maharaj, Jyotiba Phule, Gandhiji, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and other such prominent social thinkers. But such efforts have no legal obligations or force of law remedial. Therefore, there was a need arose to formulate laws to bring about social change, prescribing and providing necessary penal mechanism. Every seventh person in India is a scheduled caste. The scheduled caste have been oppressed right from post-Vedic period, and hence positive discrimination, protective discrimination, and affirmative action in their favor. And you can see there are two pictures here. In one picture you can see this practice is exercised against untouchables. Okay, and then this is another poor picture of a person who belongs to lower caste. He is forced to work as a sewer, dirt remover. Sometimes they die. In spite of reform movements, they continue to remain the most backward and deprived. These are backward people. Society was comparatively flexible during the Vedic period. However, with the passage of time, the Varna system came and caste system was introduced in this Varna system. Now you can see this is the Indian caste system. Brahmins on top, who are supposed to be priests, and no one else can be priest in those days. Now after that comes Kshatriyas, who are the warriors and rulers. They can't take up the job of priest or an educationist. Then we have Vaishyas, skilled laborers and businessmen, Shudras, unskilled workers, and we had the last rank, the last system, that was Parihars or Harijans. These people were untouchables, and they were also called as children of God. Now we can see there were some meaningless rituals, harmful customs that made the life of Hindus a complex and miserable existence. You can see in one picture, the first one, the wife, after the death of her husband, was supposed to be thrown into the fire where her husband is being burned after death. This is because they wanted the lady also to join her husband in the afterlife. What a foolish belief. So this was stopped with the help of a law which was passed during the British period, and then it was continued further, and will still be prohibit this sati system. Now we have another sorry picture of Indian society, that is Devadasi, where girl children are devoted to God, and they were subject or forced to exercise prostitution. What a bad and what an unfortunate situation as far as caste people are concerned. It says, "Dharma ke naam par hone wale adharma ka krur satya." Devadasi. Then a great man arose, Dr. Ambedkar, who raised voice for the upliftment of the untouchable in our society. He studied Hindu scriptures and objected to wherever he found degrading remarks against the untouchables and the Shudras. He was a very strong critic of Manusmriti, which prescribed various indignities for the Shudras almost in all matters of human life. Let us see one incident in the year 1927, where Dr. Ambedkar, he was at Mahad in Kolaba district of Maharashtra. The Bombay Legislative Assembly had passed a resolution moved by S.K. Bhole that the untouchables be allowed to use all public watering places, wells, schools, dispensaries, etc. The municipality of Mahad resolved in 1924 that the local Chaudhar tank be thrown open to the untouchables. However, the caste Hindus did not allow them to take water from the tank. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar launched an agitation to exercise the right of free access to the Chaudhar tank. In response to his call, more than 10,000 men and women assembled at Mahad on 19th March 1947. Dr. Ambedkar was at the head of the procession. The procession reached the Chaudhar tank, and Dr. Ambedkar, the most gifted and qualified untouchable ever born in India, asserted the right of the suffering humanity by drinking water from the forbidden tank. This was truly an historical event. Never before the so-called untouchables had demonstrated their determination to assert their right in such a glorious manner. Now you can see an example, which was the illustration is just shown here. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar standing and leading the procession. These were the people who were gathered, and you can see here, nobody is stopping the dog from drinking water, but human beings can't drink because of the caste system. So animals can be tolerated, not human beings. So this was the sorry picture in India. The introduction of common law system and impact on further development of law and legal institutions in India. The law is often used as an instrument of social reform. The Untouchability Offences Act, the Hindi Code Bill, the Sarda Act and the Prohibition Act are examples in this context. One great merit of law is that it adapts itself to the changing needs of society and maintains stability when the rapid alterations disturb the relations in society. The various pressure groups exercise considerable influence on lawmaking organs. Practically all legislations are passed to satisfy the demands of certain groups presented to the legislature directly or indirectly. Which demands will be recognized in law depends to a large degree upon the power of the group which make the demand. I can see that the government is divided into three main parts or organs, we can say. First is the legislature, which makes the law. It consists of two houses, the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Then we have executive, headed by the President of India, who is the head of the executive, which implements the laws which are passed by the legislature with the help of states. And the third wing is called as judiciary. The highest court, that is the Supreme Court of India, guards the Constitution of India and gives valuable advice to the government. Law is a means of social control. There are two fold objectives of law to serve is, firstly, to keep up stability and afford orderly life in the society. Secondly, to persuade social change by changing itself according to the needs of the changing society. Therefore, law is an important agency of social control. Rule of law in any constitution is the bedrock for democracy. By putting fear in the minds of public, the law is a helpful agency for social control. Law regulates the behavior of the people in the society. Law, by using force, makes the people conscious about their duties and obligations. The exploitation of the people is curbed through law. The Constitution of India, criminal, civil law, and other statutes are designed to surmount this goal. Law and public opinion. The law, which is molded through public opinion, is therefore the result of state action in accordance with the public opinion. When Rajiv Gandhi government wanted to bring defamation bill because of the opposition to the bill in the public, the government dropped the idea. The public opinion is the reflection of the people's will. Public opinion becomes law. So it is the public. Therefore, we call our country as a democracy. Why? Because it is ruled by the people. We the people of India, and not those ministers that are there in the parliament. They have to pass a law with the help of the will of the people. Social change under Constitution of India. Literally, preamble means preliminary statement in writing or in speech or in introductory part of the statute. The word pre means before, amble means walk. Therefore, it is known the word preamble means before walk. The preamble declaration provides that we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and justice, social, economic and political liberty of thoughts, expression, belief, faith, worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. There was one famous case, Berubari's case in 1969, which observed, the Supreme Court observed in this case that preamble is not part of the Constitution, and hence the Parliament has no power to amend the preamble. Later, in Kesavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala, 1973, the court held that there is no wrong in treating preamble as part of the Constitution. We have latest judgments passed by some of the 9 judges in legal latest change to bring latest change in the legal system in India and new laws. There was a declaration of right to privacy, a fundamental right. Retired Justice Puttasalmi had filed a writ petition, and these were the 9 judges who passed the right to privacy as fundamental right decision, a historic one. Now we also have an example of Nirbhaya case, which changed the law on juvenile delinquency by bringing down the age of majority from 18 to 16. We also had another historical judgment by Supreme Court of India. It was abolition of instant triple talaq. Triple talaq is no more now because of the historical judgment. So, in conclusion, we can say that social problems are interconnected rather than isolated. People should be advocates for radical perspectives, defensible on both psychological and political grounds, in keeping with the values such as dignity, autonomy, equality, and justice. Law is must to control and run the society, otherwise there will be a chaos in the society. So, thank you, students, for your patience. And finally, I can say, and I believe in this statement, which says that हमारा एक ही धर्म है, वो है इंसानियत, और एक ही ग्रंथ है, वो है संविधान. So, thank you so much, and please take care of yourself.